Good evening, this is Spirit Journey. Today is Tuesday, and the time is 8:21. The date is June 23rd, 2020. I'm just coming back from outside. I did put up a video, but I had to make a correction on it, so I had to pull it. Yeah, I want to talk about an incident that happened when I went outside to go to the park with my little furry friends here, my little dogs. I was just a couple of blocks away from where I live when this happened. Now, since the COVID stuff happening, there's a lot of derelicts, a lot of druggies, just down and out people. And I feel badly for them. But just because you feel sorry for them does not make them their behavior excusable. This man, he was begging, asking me to give him money. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. And I continued walking, and then, he wants to ask me, hey, your dogs, how old are your dogs? I don't know why he's asking me that, but I realized that's an MO. It's the second time someone, under false pretense, a man want to ask about the dogs. And again, the age of the dogs. Well, some guy want to know the age of the dogs. I don't know. They just don't seem like a candidate to ask about dogs or to be dog lover. But I said, oh yeah, they're 7 and 10. And then he started to look weird. Okay. And then I saw him reaching, and he squeezed my ass. He squeezed my behind. I said, back off. I couldn't believe it. And he starts saying, I have my dog on my lap. Look at her. Yeah, this thing. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, let me put you down. I was upset. So, the store that I was right next to, it was, no. I was right next to Shake Shack. And I walk over to the window. I said, please call the cops. This man just squeezed my, please call the cops. The woman was a young woman. She said really, really nasty, like really rudely at me. What, you can't call yourself? Well, I said, well, you can't call them yourself? You don't got a phone? Really hostile like. And the man is coming closer to me and just acting belligerent. I was scared. So I had to turned away. And I also felt trapped because the guy's coming close. I'm at this window. So I walk away from the window. My phone, I did have my phone. And my phone was in my purse. And I feel like I wanted people to know. I didn't feel safe. And usually, I just felt like I needed safety, and I want other people to know, hey, this man did this. I wanted help. And you know what else, in hindsight, when an establishment, a business phone calls the cops, they come right away. When a regular person calls, you may have to wait a long time. And yes, I waited. It took maybe about 20 minutes, 25 minutes for a cop to come. I actually had a call about 4 times. I called the initial time, they asked for my last name, the phone I was calling from, gave them that information, and gave them the description of the guy. Oh, also, just before I made the initial 911 call, I took a snapshot of the fellow, and I had walked across the street because I wanted to keep a distance from him. Yeah, because he started arguing. Oh, you don't go to the cops. I said, I'm sorry. He was just acting, acting out. So I wanted to keep getting distance from him. So maybe he thought I was going away, whatever. But I crossed that street, and I called 911 at that time. And as I was waiting, these 2 guys on, police officers on horses were just so happened to be coming in my direction. So I flagged them and told them, hey, please help me. This man, and I told him what he did. Guy starts acting belligerent, and he starts taking off his jacket. First he started coming towards me, and the guy on the horse, someone closest to me, says, whoa, wait a minute, and walked in, had his horse stand between us. I thought the guy was going to attack me. I felt really scared at this point. Because again, you don't know whether they have a weapon or anything, or just get physically attacked. You don't know. Because the area is really becoming a problem with some of the derelicts on the street. Well, they eventually came. I had to call 3 more times, because we were waiting for the police car to arrive. A car had passed us by, and the guy on the horse, the police on the horse, said, "Hey, what address? Where did you tell them?" So I said, right on such and such corner, right here. He said, I think you should call again. So I called. So I called about 3 extra times. So it was, I think, a total of 4 times. And eventually a cop comes, and he asked me, he walks over to me, and I told him what happened. I told him that, he was asking for money. I said, no, I don't have any money. And then he wants to ask me about my dog. And I was on my way to the park, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't wait to see what was going to happen. After I gave the information to the cop, and I got the cop's name that took my statement, he just said, we'll take care of it. And then I walked away. But why I'm doing this, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. And I'm thinking it was really hot outside today, and I want to get out. My dogs need some fresh air, and I figured it should be okay. Excuse me. It should be okay going out now. It was still very bright outside. My concerns, the man was wearing a Black Lives Matter T-shirt, and this olive green, like a military style coat, and a hoodie underneath that. And it's like, why wear that type of shirt? And he even said, I almost forgot, when we were waiting for the police car to come, he said, yeah, Black lives really matter. Why are you here? Why are you still here? Something like that. I don't know why he said that. But I'm starting to think now, if Black lives really matter, why would he do that to a Black woman? My personal space. Why would he sexually assault a woman like that? Why would he do that to another woman, Black woman, or any woman? Doesn't matter what the race are. I mean, what the race is. It doesn't matter. But to do that, to have that type of shirt on, you're making a laughing stock out of the whole thing. Black Lives Matter. You see that? It's a joke. And I feel bad for the men on the street. There's a lot of homeless black people, even more so now since the COVID, on the street, really looking bad. And you also even have a lot more whites, homeless whites now out in the area. And just yesterday, there were two whites. One, a woman that looked like a derelict, and she had one leg, and being very verbally really aggressive and saying that she was going to kick somebody, this woman's behind. And then she takes a soft drink and throws it at the woman's back when she was walking away. And then they were going to fight. It was awful. A plainclothesman cop came. He had, when he came to the scene to intervene, he took out a badge and showed it. Everything happened so fast. So it's like, it's just so, even the white homeless people are getting really aggressive. You don't know, and that was just yesterday. You don't know what people are going to do. And I don't want to feel violated. I just, I'm uploading a video now. It's what's going on. My other concern was the place Shake Shack. Now, I don't think I would really mind so much. See, I could understand a private company. It didn't happen in the establishment. It wasn't like a customer of theirs, and another customer did that to me. But I was right by there. I think if she would have responded with concern, I could see her saying, "Look, miss, that's awful that happened. We're really not allowed to call about incidences that happen outside, But I keep an eye, find a phone. I keep an eye out, since I'm at this window, and just something of concern." But she had no concern, just hostile. And you know what? She was a young black woman. A young black woman, like in her 20s, dark complexion, very, very pretty, smooth skin. But she had a foul mouth. Came out very foul. I'm a woman, also, and a black woman. And my concern is that, see, as a black community, this racial climate now. And if we're trying to convince people, white people, that black lives matter, and when another black person approaches you for help because a man grabbed her in the behind, and you're not showing any sisterhood. And again, maybe your job says, hey, don't get involved with the outside activities, but just a human compassion. This happened around, I think shortly after 6 p.m. today on June 23rd, 2020. That's what I'm concerned about. So here, a black man, he's an older black guy, should know better, wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, gonna grab a black woman's behind, and then you go to the nearest store that you're right next to and ask for help. Please, I said, please call the cop. This man just, and to respond hostile to another black. See, that's why people don't take black Americans seriously, because you don't care about your own. But you want everybody else to treat you well, with respect, but you don't respect your own. So how are we going to convince other Americans? Our argument is dead. It's really, and I feel horrible. And I feel horrible that I had to call. It He could have done it again. He could do it again. People just don't one day wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do this to a woman. They probably done it before in the past. But this time, I want it documented. Hey, this person does this behavior. Call the authorities. It can happen to any woman or child. We have to protect one another. We have to take some type of initiative, at least make some type of concern. Hey, wow, they did that? Sorry. Some type of response. But there was none. It's in a very diverse area, where it happened. A lot of everything goes there. So there's no human concern for one another. What if something happens to her? What if when she leaves work, what if I said nothing? Let's say she's going home, and let's say the same guy does it to her. You know what I'm saying? You have to think more than, well, I'm doing my 9 to 5. I don't want to get involved out there. And I understand about when someone calls 911. Because they're going to want to know your name, whatever. And I understand that. And I've been in a situation like that in the past about calling 911 on a situation that outside of myself. But I know I made a promise to myself that if I see something going on, especially someone getting beaten, I'm going to call. Because see, what if it was me getting beaten on the street? I would at least someone to call. If you don't want to give your name, don't give your name. Just say, look, this has happened. Someone's getting beaten, killed, whatever. Please come. And hang up. Okay? At least that. There was a case that happened in the 1970s in a different state. And a woman was being murdered. She was raped and then beaten to death. And she's crying out for help. The whole neighborhood. It was a problem, it was a poor immigrant neighborhood. And no one came to her rescue, and she died. And the shame was put on that community. No one called. And a woman died. And I was a young girl, I was a teenager at that time when I heard this story. And I said to myself, if something like that happened, I'm going to at least call. And was it 1 or 2 years ago, I witnessed a woman in Central Park being beaten by 2 men. They're all black. I was scared for her. And I saw everything below. I was on a hill looking downward. I saw everything. I saw a lot, I should say. And I called. Okay, hey, this person is woman being beaten by 2 men. Okay? And yes, the police, when you do call 911, they do get you, even if you don't leave your number, they call. They're able to call back that number. And someone called, hey, were you the one that called? And then I spoke to them. And then they wanted me involved to be a witness. And I didn't want to be involved. Once I found out what the melee was about, I was afraid to get involved. So yes, you have to make a choice. Or just be anonymous. But how are we going to convince others when we can't even convince ourselves, amongst ourselves, how to handle a situation? We don't like ourselves. We don't like ourselves. So here, a black woman, young black woman, showed no care. I will not go at that Shake Shack on 44th Street. Nope. I bought there before. I will not go there again. Nope. Will not do it. will not do it. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke. So we want to convince everybody that Black Lives Matter, but yet you squeeze somebody's behind and you want to get help. You approach the first window right there. I didn't know who worked behind that window. I just, hey, please call the cops. That's a problem. People hear what you say and do to each other. People hear and see. And the police officer on the horse said, he looks like he could be a little crazy. They're just going to release him from the street, back on the street. So what are you saying I should do then? That's your call, because they're just going to put him back on the street. So, do our lives matter? You're going to put a pervert back on the street? My life doesn't matter then. You're going to put a pervert on the street. See, that's why certain neighborhoods are as reactive. Because they know what's out there, and so they act swiftly. And you know what else? Like I'm uploading a video about this incident that happened, was it in San Francisco? A man was using chalk and a stencil to write Black Lives Matter. He's not even a black man. He's a Filipino. And he encountered this white couple, and they were not nice to him. And he wasn't nice back at them either. The police came, he said, real quick, in 2 minutes. Okay, for stencil writing. Who knows what the white couple actually told the police? See, it would be interesting what they actually told the cops. And lucky for that man, who lived where he lived since 2002, and they know of him in the neighborhood. And when they came, they said, hey, they talked and said, hey, you live here, right? He said, yeah, I live here. No, okay, that's a nice stencil work. Yeah, bye. And they left. But what if, so I live in a bigger city. They don't know me, the cops. And the video that's trying to upload now, I indicate that when I go out, like what I try to do now, since all this Black Lives Matter stuff and the killings and all that, I try to make sure I'm dressed a certain way, presentable. I make sure I say hello to the cops. I want people to know who I am, that I live here. I'm a regular person. I walk my dogs. I want them to know this face, so that if I'm in trouble, they know I'm not some person on the street. Because see, unfortunate reality that a lot of blacks, you sometimes you can't tell the blacks who are so-called normal and the ones on the street. Because sometimes because how we dress sometimes. If you dress kind of very unisex, you can't tell. I'm sorry to say that. You can't tell who's normal, who's kind of off. Yeah. Who do you see on the street? Blacks. Blacks living on the street. Urban blacks. I'm an urban black woman. Just a regular woman that live in the city. Except I don't dress up. So that, just real casual. Today I wore a nice white dress with a little black outline. But it's always on my mind. And in the phone. The phone was on. Now I think just have the phone in my hand. My phone wasn't in my hand at the time. And I was just very excited. I'm scared. We have to love ourselves. You have to live the part. Don't just wear a t-shirt. See, it's cheap. Talk is cheap. Have it a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and you're gonna grab a black woman's behind. And then approach a window, hey, and you're gonna get a nasty, nasty response from a young black woman. We don't love ourselves. We act like we're in prison. We're thugging each other. Sad. It's very sad. This area is really getting bad. I sometimes have to give them food. I even bought this one dude toilet paper. It's really, really getting bad, especially after this COVID stuff. Yeah, that's so just it's getting more popular now. Since COVID, it wasn't doing as much business. They had most restrictions now. Things are getting a little bit more relaxed in this area. Yeah, things are slowly coming back to swing, but boy, more homelessness now, though. I'm really very, very sad because I don't feel safe as a black woman, and I don't feel safe to approach another black person for my help. I want to stay. I'm born and raised here. I'm American at heart. I love this country. But I'm not safe. I'm not safe here. I don't know. That's all I want to say. Wow. I didn't expect that. It just, everything happened so quickly. So quickly. Could have easily escalated. Wow. So how that lady gonna get home? Young lady, what if something happens to her? See, we have to get involved. That's what I'm trying to, that's what all my videos are really about. Regardless of race. But I can only really talk on my own race. I'm a black woman. Born and raised here. I have to talk to my own first on this platform. But it's really for any human being who has an ear to hear. We have to really start caring about each other. At least from the heart. I understand, some things you can't do. You don't want to get, that's okay. But at least from the heart, say, look, there's no heart. No heart whatsoever. Then you wonder why. Other groups are doing so much better because the other groups protect their women. You have to start protecting your own women or each other. Take your shirt off, take your Black Lives Matter t-shirt off and throw it in the garbage. This is how you're going to protect other black people. It's a waste of time and money for everybody. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Yes, Black Lives Matters. My life matters. Your life matters. All of our lives matter. Let's be more humane about it and stop with the lip service and really start taking action. Okay? Thank you so much. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Be safe. Bye-bye.